In the aftermath of the deadly mass shooting in Buffalo, the FBI has released a new report that finds active shooter incidents are on the rise. Here are some of the numbers. In that report, in 2021, the number of active shooter incidents saw a 52% increase from 2020, with more people dying from these shootings. It's also a nearly 100% spike from what we saw in 2017. Let's bring in NBC News law enforcement analyst Cedric Alexander. Cedric, good to have you with us this morning. The first question I'm going to ask is the obvious one. Do we know why we are seeing such a big spike in active shooters?
You know, the jury is still out on that. There's certainly a lot of social reasons we can somewhat speculate that's causing these types of violent acting out in our nation. A lot of it has been associated with mental health, and that may not necessarily be true because many of those who have been involved in these high number of active shooters, over 690 last year alone, are people who had very clear thought processes. They planned their attack oftentimes, understanding and knowing what targets they were going to hit and calculated it oftentimes as well. So there could be a variety of reasons. Some of it could be associated with mental health, which is oftentimes maybe very hard to track, particularly if someone is disturbed or depressed or under some type of medical care that may not be known to others. And this notion as well, too, that if people weren't able to go and buy guns, we wouldn't see so many attacks. But the point of the matter is that there's so many weapons on the street, particularly even high capacity weapons that are out there that you don't necessarily have to go to a gun store. You can make these purchases. Many of them are stolen from homes and vehicles and et cetera. So there's still a real, very undetermined one idea as to why we're seeing this influx, but we're certainly seeing people in a great deal of much more distress than we ever had.
This report also observed an emerging trend, something called roving active shooters. That means shooters who open fire in multiple locations. What more should we know about this? Do we know why we are seeing this change in pattern?
Well, you know, here again, it's very, very early to tell. And until significant research has been put into place to give us some ideas to the reasons for this, here's the one thing that we can do. We can make note of the fact that there are rovers that are out there who are moving around from place to place, causing this type of violence. We have to look at the circumstances of each one of these shootings. Was it gang related? But anytime you have 4 or more individuals shot and killed, excluding the shooter, him or herself, it is defined as a mass casualty. But here again, I think we have so much more to learn. But for the general public, we must stay aware. We must stay alert. People still need to exercise their freedom, go about their way. But being alert and staying alert and being able to take yourself to safety when need be is very, very important as we see this uptick in violence.
Cedric, in the wake of the recent mass shooting in Buffalo just over a week ago, President Biden once again called for stricter gun control laws. We know that's an uphill battle in Congress. And as you just mentioned, a lot of the guns are already out there. So in your mind, what needs to be done at the federal level, the state level, and local levels to try and stop or at least slow down this violence?
Well, something that truly needs to happen. The music needs to change. Every time we have one of these incidents, we can't continue to go back to there needs to be some level of interaction in our gun laws, because that never comes about. America is still waiting on that. What does that look like? We know that there's a great deal of politics involved, and we know that many gun owners out there who believe in their Second Amendment right are good people. So it's a complicated situation. But the point of it is we can't continue to say the same thing over and over again. At every level of government, federal level, state level, and at the local level, we have to do everything that they can. But understanding at the local level, they don't have the same level of power and control as at the federal level. So really, our federal elected officials are really going to have to find a way to come together and really confront and deal with this ever-emerging issue that is damaging the lives of American people every day. This is serious business that's got to be dealt with at a federal level and state level.
Cedric Alexander, as always, we appreciate your expertise and analysis. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.